Hey guys, Dr. Tobisch here again with Whitefish Chiropractic. This is going to be our second video on key components of chronic plantar fascial pain. In this video, we're going to be looking at activity and strength of the muscles deep inside the feet, the intrinsic muscles. And it's extremely common for these muscles to be both weak and inactive. There's a lot of reasons for that, but one of the biggest ones is we oftentimes stuff our feet in tight-fitting shoes with big, thick, cushiony soles. Then we walk around on man-made surfaces all day long. This is basically telling your body that now this shoe is going to do the job of the intrinsic muscles of your feet, so those muscles basically just go to sleep and they don't wake back up. This is a problem because we need good activity and strength in these muscles to prevent the plantar fascia from being pulled too far. So if we don't have good activity and strength in these muscles, the plantar fascia is allowed to be pulled too far. This happens over and over again. Tissue can only take so much stress. Eventually things start to break down. So we need to get better activity and strength in these muscles to offload our plantar fascia. And that's what we're gonna look at next. All right guys, first exercise we're gonna look at to start improving the activation and strength of the intrinsic muscles of our feet is gonna be a little activation exercise for a muscle called the flexor digitorum brevis. All you need is a small resistance band. So you're gonna be seated, we're gonna take the resistance band, and we're just going to cover the small toes with it. So your four lateral toes, kind of show from the side, maybe that'll work better. So big toe is free, and then the band is covering the small toes. You're gonna create some tension and allow the band to basically pick the small toes up. Then we're gonna use our intrinsic muscles, that flexor digitorum brevis, to push those toes down to the floor. So we wanna see the first knuckle of the toe basically arched up, and there should be slight extension in the knuckle past that. I'll see if I can maybe add a picture into the video so you can see what I'm talking about. It's called a wink sign if you wanna Google it. But let the band pick the toes up, then drive the toes back down into the ground, hold for 2 or 3 seconds before we rinse and repeat. We're gonna do 2 sets of 15 reps with this exercise. Next exercise we're going to look at is also going to be for the flexor digitorum brevis. I'm going to be using a tool called a toe pro, which is going to be used to basically elevate my toes about 15 degrees. If you don't have one of those, which most of you probably don't, I would probably recommend using a towel, something to again prop the toes up into extension while we maintain the points of the forefoot on the floor. So we'll get into a position where forefoot still touching the ground, but whatever you're using is propping the toes up about 15 degrees. Next up, you're gonna start to lean forward as far as you feel like you can comfortably without needing to reach for a wall or anything. Once you get to the point where you've reached, then we're gonna push the toes down into that object and hold for 2 or 3 seconds. And again, you wanna see that wink sign. So not the toes just staying long and being pulled down, but also not the toes scrunching up. Just extension in the first knuckle, or flexion in the first knuckle, and a little bit of extension in the second knuckle, if you can imagine that. So then we'll come back to where we started. Again, we'll lean forward as far as we can comfortably. Then we're gonna squeeze the toes down into the pad for 2 or 3 seconds, and then come back to the beginning. On that one, we're gonna do 2 sets of 15 to 20 reps.